All right, take a look at this. A group of senior citizens have launched a hilarious protest against Cracker Barrel after the chain made some changes to its logo. Yes, really. Last month, one customer noticed that the company had updated the font for its full name, adding the word Old Country Store underneath the classic rocking chair graphic. And naturally, the elderly folks weren't too happy about it. Why? Well, the old logo implied that the restaurant was for old people, which many customers felt was an accurate representation of their typical clientele. But the new logo made them feel like Cracker Barrel was trying to attract a younger demographic, which they viewed as a threat. You know, like their kids or grandkids might be lured into eating there and then the restaurant would become too crowded and they would have enough room to sit. Or maybe they just didn't want to share their beloved restaurant with the hipsters. Either way, they were mad. So they decided to do something about it. On November, dozens of protesters gathered outside a Cracker Barrel in New Jersey, picketing the restaurant and demanding the old logo be put back. The demonstration was organized by a local chapter of the National Association of Retired Federal Employees, and according to them, hundreds of people showed up to support the cause. Take a look at this footage. You got signs everywhere that say things like "Bring back the old logo," "Don't mess with our rockers," and my personal favorite, "Seniors versus hipsters." At one point, the crowd even starts chanting, "We want the old logo back. We want the old logo back," which is it's adorable. It sounds like a children's chant. Meanwhile, someone inside the restaurant is filming the whole thing and narrating it like it's a protest against an oppressive regime. They say things like, "Look at this sea of angry faces. They're relentless. They won't stop," which is funny because none of the protesters are angry. They're all just kind of standing there peacefully with their signs. It's not exactly a riot. So what did Cracker Barrel do to appease the protesters? Nothing. Actually, the company said that the logo change was part of a larger rebranding effort that was designed to emphasize that each Cracker Barrel is independently owned and operated. Which is true, but that fact has nothing to do with the old logo. And if anything, it probably makes more sense to include it now, so that people understand that each restaurant is individually owned and operated by a local person who cares about the community. But the protesters aren't buying it, nor are they interested in buying anything from Cracker Barrel until their demands are met. One woman told the media that she'd been a loyal customer since 1968, while another claimed that he hadn't eaten there in years just because of the logo. That's dedication. Of course, the whole thing is pretty silly, but it also raises an interesting point about nostalgia and how even the smallest changes to a brand can alienate a portion of its customer base. Like when Burger King updated its logo in 2021. People complained that the new design made the restaurant look cheap. Or when Apple replaced a headphone jack on the iPhone, people lamented the loss of the old school feature. Of course, those examples are dumb because objectively the new designs are better. But people still get attached to things like logos and mascots. Just think about how many people were outraged when Ronald McDonald got a makeover or the Burger Chef mascot lost his hat. Some of these characters have been around for decades, and people feel a sense of comfort and familiarity with them. So when they change, it feels like part of your childhood is disappearing. And sure, Cracker Barrel's logo isn't as iconic as the Burger King logo or the McDonald's logo, but it still evokes a certain feeling. The protesters aren't necessarily mad at Cracker Barrel. They're mad that something in their lives has changed. And in an era of constant change, that can be terrifying. So I don't know. Maybe don't mess with your logo. This channel is run by a small group of hardworking individuals who are not paid very much. That being said, we are incredibly passionate about what we do, and we love bringing you guys the most compelling and entertaining news stories from around the country. If you enjoy our content and you want to help us continue producing it, consider joining our membership program today. As a member, you'll get fun perks like bloopers, behind-the-scenes fun, and access to exclusive content. You'll also get to watch this video without any ads. So click the link in the description to get started. Thanks for watching.